Hello, welcome to another live. I'm Brian Cristiano, the founder and CEO of Bold Worldwide. I'm a growth strategist and advisor and coach to successful CEOs and entrepreneurs. Welcome. Today, the topic, let's get the graphics up here. The topic is how to close more sales right now. Because let's face it, I don't care where your business is, you can afford to have more sales. Right? If you're struggling, if your business is being held back, if the economy is really pushing on you, you definitely need more sales. If you're okay, you're fine, you're hanging in there, hey William, then that's great, but you still need more sales because you're not going to be successful hanging on or being okay or living in mediocrity. And even if your sales are doing well, hey, this whole pandemic thing actually helped our business. That's great. Why aren't you leaning into it? Why aren't you leveraging it? Right? You need more sales. You got to close more sales, and it can be done right now. Because here's some of the things that I'm hearing as I'm talking to different business owners and entrepreneurs. I'm in fitness. We're closed. Like, we're brick and mortar. Our shop is closed. There's nothing we can do about it. Oh yeah? Well, Peloton is crushing it. Peloton is making more money today than ever. Right? There are fitness people online on Instagram making more money now than they did pre-COVID. So what are you doing? How are you innovating? How are you changing your business model? I don't care that you're closed. You need to figure it out. You need to come up with a solution. There's always a solution. Okay. And here's another one I'm hearing. Look, I'm actually talked to somebody about this yesterday. I'm in travel. We're in travel, international travel. People aren't traveling right now. We're a luxury product. People have been stuck in home for 6 months. You don't think that they're thinking about getting out? You don't think that they're thinking about traveling? So what? They can't travel right now. Do people not book trips a year in advance, 2 years in advance? Of course they do. And they're more hungry to do so than ever. What are you waiting for? Like, it was crazy to me. I'm like, what are you waiting for? You're just hanging around because, well, people aren't traveling right now. They will at some point. So what are you doing? How are you taking action in this moment? Another one I'm hearing is, actually somebody emailed me this morning, said, hey, Brian, my business is actually fine. We're up 50%, expecting me to be like, wow, that's amazing. And I said, that's it? That's it? You're only up 50%? Like, so you're in an industry that actually benefited from this economic climate and you're only up 50%. To me, that's terrible. Like, you need to look to dominate your space if your business is actually up. Like, I don't accept mediocrity. I don't accept for my clients, like, doing okay or, hanging in there, or, hey, 50%, we're up 50%. That's great. I'm looking at, we're up 50%. How do I make it 100? If we're up 100, how do I make it 300? Because this economic climate, if it benefits you, also isn't going to last forever. What are you going to do when there's no pandemic if your business benefits from it? Right? So I have found, I found that there's three major things that are holding people back when it comes down to sales, right? Because there's so many reasons, there's so many excuses, there's so many things that people are saying or thinking, like, well, it just is what it is. We can't close that deal right now because it's COVID times, or it's just going to take longer to negotiate because, money's tight with our customers. I'm not finding that. Most of my clients that are taking our advice aren't finding that. Why? Listen, it comes down to three things. I'm going to go through those right now. The first thing that's holding you back is your identity. You're thinking too small. Like, that sounds so simple. And so, like, let me put this on like a poster somewhere, but it's absolutely true. You're thinking way too small. You've been taught to, hey, there aren't an abundance of opportunities. You've been taught to, all right, it's a bad time. Everybody's going through a bad time. Like, it just is what it is. We'll get through it. We'll hang tight. We'll batten down the hatches. And when things get better, then it'll come around and hopefully we'll be okay. You've been taught to think that way. You've been taught in school of like, yes, may I use the bathroom, please? Right? Like, to ask for permission for everything that you do in your life. You've been taught to, like, slow down. You've been taught to be quiet, wait your turn. Like, that stuff's ingrained from us when we're a little kid. Right? Like, as my daughter's growing up and I'm thinking about all these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not teaching her that. Like, I'm not like, oh, slow down, be quiet. I'm like, oh, hey, you want to yell and scream as long as it's an appropriate, time. Let's go yell and scream. Like, let's go outside. Let's throw some rocks. Like, why? Like, why am I holding you back? Right? And we've all been taught in society to like think small, be quiet, wait your turn. This is not the time to wait your turn. This is your time to drill in and move forward and dominate your space. This is a time to, if you're struggling, flip it around. Screw 2020. Make this your best year ever. And if you're doing okay, like, why are you doing okay? This is going to take a lot longer than you or even I think to turn around globally and global economics. Like, this is going to take a long time to come back. So if you're doing okay right now, if you're hanging on, you're not going to last. You have to increase your sales. You got to move forward. You have to grow. And if you're doing well, you need to be dominating. You need to be saying like, oh, hey, we're up 50%. I don't want to be okay with that. If you're up, you need to say, how do we dominate? How do we absolutely become number one in our marketplace? Right? Because you need to think so much bigger. You got to get rid of that conservative mindset of like, all right, we got to conserve. We got to, save some nuts for the winter. Dude, like winter is going to be long this year. Winter is going to be really long economically, right? And so you need to not just like, if you didn't have the nuts stored aside, it's now time to go out and plant some seeds and go find some nuts, and be the person that steps up, leans into it, and actually grows, right? The sales are out there. You just have to figure out like what is my identity holding my back? Because if my identity is like, be conservative in tough times, wait my turn, wait for things to get better, hope that something will change. If that's my identity, I'm done. It's already over for me. But if your identity is, there's an opportunity in everything. There are plenty of customers and clients out there for me, right? I can close a deal no matter what the economy because my product or service is amazing. If that's your identity, like which of those two identities do you think is going to serve you better? Not just today, but in the long run, right? Like you need to absolutely, unequivocally put yourself around people that think bigger than you, that take higher risks, that are willing to push you. Because the reality is, especially as everybody's been, cooped up at home, at least to some extent, unless you're a very small percentage of people, man, you're stuck around the news. You're stuck around people telling you to think small. You're stuck around people telling you how bad things are, reminding you of how challenging it is and how, well, we can't close the deal today. And, it's really tough out there. Nobody's answering their phones because they're not in the office. And dude, if you're around those people, they are shrinking your mindset. You need to get around other people, even if it's virtual. You need to get around other people that think much, much bigger than you. People that are going to push you. People are going to say, dude, I don't care how bad the economy is. There are deals and opportunities out there, and you need to get creative, and you need to be aggressive, and you need to push. And you need to be around people that don't accept 50% as good. Think about that. Like, where in your life, who in your life have you been accepting that small thinking, that small mindedness, the struggle, it's okay, buddy. It'll, everybody's there. I feel the same way. Who have you been accepting that from? Because it's not okay. It's not okay to think that way. If you really, truly want to grow, if you want to close deals, if you want to grow your business, if you want to grow yourself, if you want to succeed, if you want big things and big dreams in life, then you can't hang around people and have the discussions of, yeah, it's tough. You need to ignore those people if you can't not be around them. And you need to surround yourself with people that are going to push you, right? Daniel, thanks. I needed this. Yeah, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching this. And everybody watching, if they're finding this helpful, please share it out. Just trying to spread this message to as many people as possible. I think it's very well needed right now. But it's true. You got to take inventory. Like, think about where in your life and the people that are slowing you down and making you think smaller. Like, you need way more. Like, because think about that, right? If somebody, before the stream and you saw somebody said, wow, my business is up 50%, I bet most of you would have said, wow, that's amazing. That person is doing great. But then when I said 50%, that's it. How many of you were like, ooh, what does it mean 50%? That's it. Like, is Brian crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I just think so much bigger than even that person does. And imagine that. Imagine if that person, imagine if I was speaking to that person every day, or I was coaching that person every single day or week. And they were like, Brian, 50% up. And I said, okay, good. How do you get to 100? Do you think that they would think bigger or smaller? Do you think that they would get further in life? Do you think they'd be more successful or less successful? It's just the gap, right? When you get around people that think so much bigger than you, it pushes you. People that don't accept mediocrity. So you really have to fix your identity, and you got to figure out, like, what are the things that you think you are, that you accept, or that are baked in from childhood that you don't even realize that are making you think too small. You got to change that. You got to get around to people that are going to push you to think bigger and act bigger. The next piece is you're asking poor questions. You're asking poor questions. Poor questions lead to poor results and lead to you being poor. Really. Think about it. If you're like, hey, how do I just get enough money to get to next month? How do we just close enough deals, to stay open? I was speaking to somebody the other day, and they said, well, we just need to close enough deals, to stay open for 90 days. And then hopefully stuff will start to come in. Do you think that's a powerful question to ask? How do we close enough deals to stay open? They're not going to be open. I told them that. I said, you're not going to be open in 90 days if that's your attitude, if that's the questions that you're asking, right? You need to be asking questions like, where's the opportunity? How do we grow? How do we in 90 days do better in 90 days than we were pre-COVID? That's a good question. Where are my opportunities? Who do I need in my circle? How do I take control of this situation? Right? So many people are asking, well, why me? Why my business? Why did they close down gyms? I can't control that. Find a way to take control of the situation. Find a way. Well, they closed down all the restaurants in my city. I can't control that. Why me? Why my industry? Screw that. Better question. How do I take control of this situation? I don't know. Maybe you need to get into politics. Maybe you do. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. Maybe you need to go get a bill passed. I don't know. That's thinking big. Oh, but I'm not into politics. Well, maybe you need to be. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for you. That's for you to decide, but you need to ask bigger questions. You need to dream and reach much bigger. Yes. Thank you, Stephanie. You have to. How do I dominate my space? How do I use this time to reinvent my business? How do I use this time to actually create what I really want? How do I take this time to take a step back, readjust my entire business model, and then dominate? Those are good questions. Tim Lord. Hey, BC, good to see you. When one door closes, another one opens. I agree, Tim. Thank you so much, my friend. Good to see you. Absolutely. There's always an opportunity. And if the door doesn't close and another one doesn't open, break the freaking window, man. Sneak in through the back, pick the lock, and then open it. All right? So you got to ask better questions, right? You got to change your identity and you got to ask better questions. And then the last one of the three that I find are holding people back from closing more deals and growing really is they're not taking control. Yes, Hank, what's up, my brother? They're not taking control, right? You absolutely must take control of your situation. You have to. And let me explain, especially in a sales scenario, because I was speaking with somebody a few days ago. They're saying, yeah, but the sales cycle is longer. Like people are tighter with their money. First of all, that's small mindset, right? So we got to fix that identity. But second of all, great. How do you control that situation? How do you shorten that sales cycle? You can't wait for stuff to happen the way that it was happening 6 months ago. You have to completely change your model, your process. You have to change how much effort that you're putting in, and it all has to be through you and out in a way that you control the actions. What if instead of, okay, well, this is how my industry works, and this is how we get a deal, and this is how we then go from a deal to a close and so forth. If instead of that, you just said, hey, I'm changing it. Instead of a 90-day cycle, we're going to do this in 3 weeks. And I'm going to tell up front my customers exactly how that process is going to work. Hey, I know that you need this. Hey, I know that, you're considering this. Great. And here's how my process is going to work. We're going to do this tomorrow. Then we're going to send you this on Friday. And then next Tuesday, we're going to get on a call. And then we're going to decide these 3 things. And then we're going to move forward and we're going to do this and da-da-da-da. How does that sound to you? I bet they'd be like, whoa, holy cow. Like what? Here's the thing about that. When you take control of your situation, when you take that much action and you absolutely take control, it changes your identity. And what do other people think? Because most people have a small identity. They're going, oh yeah, we got to slow down our sales cycle. We got to take longer to think about this because, money's tight. Why? Because they have been taught to think so much smaller. But then you come in and say, hey, I'm revamping this entire industry. I'm revamping my entire process. This is how it's going to work. This is why it's going to benefit you. And here's the steps. You follow me? You cool with that? What are they going to think? Well, most people are too afraid to say that because why? They're like, oh, if I'm going to say that, I'll scare people away. Good. Scare them away. Why? Because those are the people that weren't going to do freaking business with you anyway. Scare them away. Get some no's. Okay? But here's the other part of it. When you take absolute control, especially in a situation of uncertainty like we're having right now, you take absolute control with complete certainty, what happens? That other person, that customer, that buyer goes, I want what this guy's on. I want what this girl's having. Holy cow. I've never seen this before. Because why? Think about it. Every one of your competitors are getting on the call or in a meeting or in a Zoom with that person that you wanted a customer, and they're going, okay, yeah, I know things are tough right now. And, absolutely, I understand. And yeah, of course, I know, it'll take longer to think about it. And then you jump on. Everyone sounds like that. And then you jump on and you go, so I've changed everything and this is how it's going to benefit you. And this is how we're going to move forward. And here's the process and here's how it's going to work. They're going to think so much more of you. They're going to be like, wow, this person is in control. This person has a big identity. This person's thinking bigger than me. I need to hire them just because I want to be around somebody else that's thinking bigger than I am. So you got to take control. You got to go outbound with your effort. Get on the phones, get on LinkedIn, send more emails, right? Be direct about what you're asking for. Take control of the sales process and don't wait, don't hesitate, and do not accept everyone else's excuses because it's not that those excuses aren't real. It's just that they have not seen that there's more opportunity out there. And if you can be the one that shows them that there's more opportunity in moving forward and moving forward with you and that you are the one in control, they'll do business with you. At least the ones that you had an opportunity with to begin with. So listen, I'm just going to recap real quick the 3 things. If you want to close more sales right now, the 3 things that are holding you back and that you need to change are your identity. You need to think much, much bigger. You need to get around people that are going to push you and not accept small. You got to ask better questions. Not why did this happen in my industry, but where's the opportunity? And then you must take control of your situation. Doesn't matter what the problem is. How do I take control? How do I dominate? How do I drive everything forward in the way that I know is going to be best for my clients and my customers? Got to be bold. You got to take action in this time. There is no hesitation. There is no way around this. And if you sit on your laurels, if you wait, if you hesitate, you're done for. You're already done. The people that take action now, the people that take control, the people that ask the right questions, the people that think so much bigger are going to be the ones that we all remember 5 years from now. So the question that you have to ask yourself is, do I want to be one of those people that are remembered or do I want to be forgotten during this time? Do I want to say, yeah, that was the COVID time. That was tough. Or do you want to say, dude, 2020 was the best year that ever happened to me? Because it can be. It's going to be for the people that think bigger, take action, take control, and ask better questions. Hey, listen, I'm Brian Cristiano, founder and CEO of Bold Worldwide. I'm a growth strategist to brands and celebrities and CEOs, and I coach and advise entrepreneurs and business owners. Listen, if you want some direct advice in your situation, DM me. Just DM me. And also, too, I have I've got a worksheet that I put together that kind of actually just asks some questions, work through, totally free. Just DM me if you want the worksheet. I'll send it to you. Maybe it'll be helpful for you and your business. All right. Be bold. Take action. And if this was helpful, please share it and comment. I appreciate you.